It is time again for Political Breakfast. Strategist Brian Robinson and Tharon Johnson are joining me live this morning. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good to have you. You know, the political cycle never ceases, right? So let's start with this today, if you will. Governor Kemp and President Trump powwowing in Washington earlier this month about who should run against Jon Ossoff. Any thoughts there? Tharon, you first.
Yeah, I think that, Governor Kemp knows that he's got to have a working relationship with President Trump. Every single Republican, not just in Georgia, but across the country, the first metrics they're judged on is how loyal can you be to this MAGA agenda that the president is promoting all across the country. We know recent polling has shown that while Trump is underwater with Georgia voters, they don't like the way that he's handling the economy. This new big, beautiful bill is terrible for working class Georgians. It only gives tax cuts and tax benefits to billionaires and millionaires, and it doesn't do anything to reduce the upwards of $30 trillion in debt that this country is paying for. But I think that the governor is smart. He knows that while he decided not to run against Jon Ossoff, and I truly believe that Jon Ossoff would be any potential GOP candidate, having the president's support, at least being in his sort of good graces, trying to weather the storm that will come in the Republican primary is a smart thing for the governor's politics, as he's decided not to run for U.S. Senate. But I really hope that they had a conversation about the Trump administration giving Georgia citizens the help that we need as we still recover from Hurricane Helene. There's still federal funding that's available that the president has not given to Georgia. So I really hope that the governor came back from his powwow with president and have some answers for Georgia's residents when it comes to this relief that we suffered this most catastrophic storm that we've ever faced in our state.
Brian, what are your thoughts? Was the visit a good use of the governor's time?
Well, in the big picture, it certainly makes a lot of sense for there to be a consensus candidate going into this election cycle because Jon Ossoff's going to be tough. He's going to raise a lot of money. He'll probably have $200 million or more between his account and outside groups that are supporting him. So Republicans need to reserve their resources for the general election as much as possible. One thing I don't understand is why is all of this happening after Buddy Carter and John King, a congressman and our insurance commissioner, got in the race? I don't understand why this conversation wasn't had in January. Why didn't everybody get together and discuss this before anybody got out there on a limb? We don't want to see another fruit basket turnover in our congressional delegation like we saw in 2014 when the Statesboro Chambliss seat came open. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, in her announcement that she's not going to run, put out a long statement, and she mentioned Trump and Kemp talking and said it made her laugh out loud. She said that the elites making this decision, the political consultants in the White House don't know Georgia as well as she does. So she was really derisive of the idea of Kemp and Trump picking a nominee for the Republican nomination. So you do see, whenever you see MTG distancing herself from Trump, take note because it's at least really interesting to watch. I too wonder, will Georgia voters hear what Trump and Kemp say and decide, okay, they're the leaders, we're going to go with that? Or do they say, wait 1 second here, we're going to figure this out on our own. We appreciate y'all, we support y'all's agenda, but we're going to pick our own candidate. I don't know the answer to that. In 2022, voters said no.
Well, in the meantime, though, Tharon, are Democrats paying attention to any of this, or are they just standing behind Ossoff, who seems to be running a pretty mean machine at this point?
Oh, it's definitely a meme machine. Not only a meme machine, it's a well-oiled and well-financed machine. The senator and I actually spent some time last week talking a lot about Georgia in the future. And he reminded me that campaigns are really about bringing people together. It's the politics of addition. And what he's really been doing is traveling all across the state, trying to listen to voters. And what he's hearing is what he shared on our podcast. Number one, businesses are paralyzed. They don't know what to do. They went into this Memorial Day weekend with parks being closed all across the state because the failure of this federal government to cut back on giving federal assistance to people who need it the most. We got to have a conversation about cuts in Medicaid and Medicare. That's a real thing. No matter how Republicans try to spend it, it will be cuts. And that is something that I think that all of us, particularly my 80-year-old mother, who depend on Medicaid and Medicare for her to live. Another thing that the senator's been doing is, honestly, look, he's prepared. He's building a bipartisan, statewide winning coalition of voters. So when you ask how we feel, Lisa, we feel great about Jon Ossoff. Will he have some challenges? Are they spending a lot of money attacking him right now, talking about issues that don't matter to Georgia voters? Absolutely. But I really feel good about where he is. And then at a time where he's working in Washington to really promote issues to protect Georgians and to make sure that their economic future is in some type of, have some type of vision to help them get through this tough time, I think is what the people really care about.
Yeah, and Brian, Buddy Carter in the race, you mentioned that, and John King. Do the Republicans need any other candidates at this point?
There'll be more candidates to come. The Senate seats come along way too rarely for there to be people staying on the sidelines. So we're not done seeing this field form. And I do want to say when Tharon says issues that voters don't care about, he's talking about the girls' sports issue. And Democrats are using that talking point that this isn't real, this doesn't matter. That is not what voters are saying. This is top of mind with voters. It is a 70-30 issue in Georgia. I do not understand why Senator Ossoff voted no on a bill that's going to cause him serious headaches, as proven by the fact that Washington groups running ads against him, Buddy Carter running ads against him, are focusing on that issue. It's because voters by wide margins disagree with what Jon Ossoff did on that vote. So that's going to be a point of contention, as well as vote on Israel aid. And, a lot of other things will be things beyond their control. How's the economy? What are Trump's approval ratings going to be? Tharon mentioned that Trump's underwater. Look, I'm not going to spin you. That's hugely important. If Trump's numbers are good in 2026, we can beat Jon Ossoff. If they're not, it's really, really tough.
All right. The conversation will continue later today. We're going to tape later this morning. So more to come on WABE.org. But thank you so much to the both of you for checking in this morning for Political Breakfast.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Amplifying Atlanta, this is listener funded WABE.